Welcome to day 40 of How to Automate Your Law Firm in 90 Days. I am Shay Jackson, your AI automation specialist. We are continuing with our CRM automation. This is part two. In this video, I will be showing you how you can set up a form that once your client completes it, it can automatically be saved in Airtable. That is the platform or application we are using for our CRM, and automatically it will send an email to the potential client and also set up a schedule for an event. They give you a friendly reminder to follow up with them. Remember, one of the things that I mentioned in one of my previous videos, a grievance that clients have is law firms don't have good follow up. So, in this automation, we're going to try to make sure we have something that can give a reminder so that you can give excellent customer service. Let's dive in. Let's get started. We are going to set up our automation in N8N, but first, there are a few things we need to set up before we make the magic happen. In the part one of CRM automation, I set up the tables going step by step for the different tables we will have in our CRM. And just to give a quick recap here, leads, interactions, and the different fields, and also appointments, okay? And this record that we have, it's just a test that I used just to make sure the automation was doing great, okay? The first thing we need to do, as I mentioned, is we are going to create a form. Now, I'm using Google Form, but as I mentioned in part one, whatever way you capture leads, that is what you can use. Now, one thing that I will say about N8N, I can't automatically connect a Google form. What I have to do is connect Google Sheets at this time of the recording. They do not have it where you can, they do have, and let me go back and I'll show you. On form submission, unfortunately, it's not for like Google Sheets, and I'm sorry, Google Forms. And also when I look up Google Forms, it's not there. Okay, they do have Google Sheets, and you see all of the other Google products that you're able to use as a node, but you can't directly connect Google Sheets. I'm sorry, Google Forms. You can Google Sheets. So what we're going to do is we are going to create our form. Okay. I'm going to name it ABC Law Firm Lead so that I'll know, what this form is about. And this is for, form is for potential new clients. Okay. What the only thing that I want to capture for this form are the following, and I'm going to go back over to my air to my base or my table in Airtable. The whole thing is a base. CRM is the base, and leads, interactions, and appointments, those are the tables, similar to Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. Okay. The only thing that I want to capture in this form is the client's first name, last name, email address, phone number, how did they find out about our law firm, and also a summary of why they are reaching out. Okay. And just to mention why I don't have full name, I have it separated first name, last name. It makes it easier when creating automations to parse it out, first name and last name, because, and I mentioned it and I'll continue mentioning it in some of the videos, whenever we receive an email or a text, it usually says, hello, like for instance, me, hello, Shay. It doesn't say, hello, Shay Jackson. And whenever you are using JSON, again, I just want the first name, not the first name and last name. And that is why I separate it. So going back to our form, we are going to type in first name. And you see it sees that it's a short answer. We're going to make this field required. We're going to duplicate it, change this into last name, duplicate it, and what was next? Email, then phone number. Okay. And we need our phone number. Now, this is going to be something different because I want to know the source. Like, how did you find out about our law firm? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at the different. Hold on, let me go over. Oh no, I changed it here. Hold on. Let me see because I had it. Oh no. Okay, I remember. I left this because I was trying to remember why I left this as a single line text because I want the person the user, whoever is filling it out, I want to in the automation. I just wanted to fill it in as opposed to having to choose like from multiple choice like we're going to do here. So for source, we're going to make it a drop down so that they can just choose one thing. Did they find out about us on our website, social media page, a referral? And this is just a good way to see, how the word is getting out, or other. Okay. Okay, so that's going to be a drop down. And then we have one more. Our last one it's going to be a paragraph. And going back to our Airtable, it's going to be our notes. We just want them to give us a summary so that we'll know why they're reaching out to our law firm. Okay. All right, so that is all we need. Oh no, I don't want to put summary. How can we help you? Just, it sounds a little bit more personal. I'm going to publish this and it's going to be anyone with the link. And now what I'm going to do is now I'm ready to connect it to Google Sheets. Okay. So in order to connect this form to Google Sheets, it's really simple. I'm going to go to responses and you see right here, it says link to Google, link to Sheets. I'm going to choose that, and I am going to choose to create a new sheet. And I just want to show you I don't have any sheets right now. Create. And here we are, and I can go ahead and I can close, and you see now it's here. I can go ahead and close this, and here is my Google Sheets that will capture my responses. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to get the link so that I can fill out a form. Okay. So first name, let me see. I already used Sassy Jenkins. I'm going to say Tanya is my first name, Davis last name. We're going to use I am Shay Jackson. Okay. Phone number 903-555 1212. My source, I found out through you on social media. And one of the things that I do want to mention would be good to use if you don't have a form set up yet on like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, maybe even, I don't know about TikTok. I don't know. Maybe law firms are on TikTok, I'm not sure. But you can get the a short version, like using a short URL, and embed this into your profile, or as you are making social media posts, you can just direct them and say, if you want to set up a free 30-minute consultation, click this link, and it'll be the link that goes to the Google form for them to capture the information as well. Okay, I'm going to say social media. How can I help you? I am reaching out because my neighbor's dog and I had to get stitches in my leg. Okay, so I filled out the information. I'm going to submit. So now here, and you see, here is the information I just completed. I'm reaching out. The dog bit me. Okay. Tanya Davis. Great. Now what we're going to do is, now that we have this information in our Google Sheets, we're going to go to N8N to make the magic happen. Okay. So my trigger, remember the trigger is the what? Party starter. Okay. Is going to be Google Sheets, and it's on when row is added. Okay. So let's talk about poll times. Oh, before I do that, I do have my credentials set up, and I think that's something that I'll do in probably the next, in one of the next few videos, is show you how you can set up your Google account if that's something that you're trying to do to use of Google products, because it's not just straight cut and dry. You have to go to the Google platform, and there are things that you have to do in order to be able to connect it. Okay, in order to be able to connect your Google products. But I do already have my credential. Now let's talk about poll times. Poll times mean, when are we going to have the automation go to see if there are um, any new entries into our Google Sheet. Okay, for that, every minute is extreme, because just think about it. I know your law firm may be busy, but every minute might be a little too much. Okay, for the automation to run every time. So what I want to do is go over to, and I'll scroll up. This is the N8N, and it talks about the schedule trigger mode, basically the polling times. And I'm going to scroll back to where I was, and it's just talking about the different ways that you can use the polling times for your trigger and all of that, and explaining, going back to, and let me scoot this over. Okay. And what it's doing is showing you, it's talking through the article every minute, every hour. And what N8N is doing is just basically explaining to you so that you'll have an understanding of, if you choose this, this is what's going to happen. Okay. But what I want to use is what's called cron. It's the custom. And I'm going to choose every hour. So every hour on the hour, I'm going to say, I want my automation to go look at my Google Sheets to see if there are any new rows and begin the automation. I think that's pretty good. Okay. But again, you can choose, and you see there are different time intervals you can choose. Just do what you believe is best for your company. So, like, for instance, if an hour is you don't believe that you'll get a new entry every hour, you can do it daily. And let's do this one. It's daily at 6 o'clock every day, but we can change it at 6 a.m. every day. But instead of 6 a.m., and this is on like 24-hour time, let's say for maybe at, I don't know, kind of like right after lunch, you want to have the automation to pull and see to poll to see if you have any new entries. So we'll use that. And instead of 6 a.m. every day, I'm choosing custom. Instead of 6 a.m. every day, I'm going to choose like after lunch. So I'm going to say 13. Okay. Now, from what document? So what I'm going to do, because my credentials are already have already been validated, all I have to do is go in and I'm going to choose ABC Law Firm responses. Now, one thing I will say, and if you kind of see it at the bottom, oh, let me look and see. Okay, this is the right one. I put ABC Law Firm lead, but in doing my testing, I named it ABC Law Firm lead form, but this is the one that I need to use. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. It would have probably just threw an error because I deleted it. If I would have, for instance, named it the same thing and it was looking for that form, and it's like, girl, well, I can't find it. Well, all I would have to do is, it would just throw an error and then I would have to go back. Okay. And then what am I choosing? Is form responses one. Going back to my Google Sheets, you see here in the tab is form responses one. Okay. So that is what I'm going to choose. And again, our trigger is row added. We're going to test the event. Now, we're doing a fetch test, which is basically like the polling, and it should have something because we did already fill out a form. And here is my information. First name, Tanya, last name, Davis. So good. We know that this node is working. Okay. And what I'm going to do, because I just want to pin it just in case I want to run some information again. I just want to use the same information as opposed to having to go back, fill out another form. I can still use this data that we have from the form. So I'm going to pin it. It's just a little stick pin. And then I'm going to go back to my canvas. Okay, so now that we have our Google Sheets, the next thing we're going to do is we want to push this information into Airtable. In order to do that, I'm going to go to Airtable. And I'm going to choose create a record. Okay, I'm going to go to Airtable to create a record. Great. So, and then you see how, because I did a test, here is the information that I can use if I need it, which I will in just a second. Okay. So, added my credential for Airtable. Our resource is going to be a record and the operation is complete. So now it's asking me what is my base, and my base, remember, it's the if you're in Airtable, it's on the top left hand corner, and then these are my tables: leads, interactions, and appointments. Let me click out of that record. Okay, so from the list, and I'm going to choose CRM because I have a few bases. And then for my table, I'm going to choose leads. If it'll come on. All right, here we go. We're going to choose leads, and it says map each column manually, which that is what I want to do. Okay. So easy. First name, you see first name right here. Values to send. We're going to send the first name. And you see the result, and it's just, that's like a good check to me, just to make sure, it's the right information. Last name, Davis, great. Email, okay. Phone number. And y'all see how this is no code. This is why I like N8N. And I'm still learning, so I'm not a pro yet. I believe I'm like an advanced beginner or intermediate on like learning the tools and all of that. I might be intermediate, but you know how sometimes you just don't give yourself enough credit. All right, for lead status, I'm going to choose new because this is a new contact and I automatically want it to say new when the record is added. Okay. Last contact, we haven't contacted them yet, so we don't need that part. We don't need interactions. We don't need appointments. Now I'm going to go to notes, and here is where the notes section will be explaining why the potential client is contacting us. Okay. And you see right here, again, it's showing the information. So that is done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it. And one thing I want to say is, for every step, I am going to test it just because you can capture, if you have an error, you can catch it along your workflow process as opposed to setting everything up and then you have an error, you don't know why, and you just have to go each step to see where the error is. And so to me, being proactive, it's just every step, every node that I connect, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to test it just to make sure everything is good. Okay, so let's look here. You see, all we have is I am Sassy for Sassy Jenkins. We can close that out. All right, I'm going to test the step to see if everything works. Okay, great. It said that it works. So when I go over to Airtable, here you see automatically magic. You see what I'm saying? Automatically, it has entered the information. Great. So we know that this node works, and just to make sure that we see that this is the same entry that we put. Here's Tanya Davis. I am Shay Jackson. And I like, even though we can see the roles, one thing I like about Airtable is that you can open up a record this way as well, just to see all of the information as opposed to, going down and looking at each field in the record. Okay. So we're going to close that. Great. We know that this part works. So now what we're going to do is we said, awesome. We have set up where we can automatically receive a new client. Well, once they're entered into our database, what we want to do is send them an email saying, we got your information. We'll be in contact with you. Okay. In order to do that, we're going to use Gmail. And I'm using Gmail, but let me see, because I'm sure they have like Outlook. And I'll be honest, I haven't used it. Here is Microsoft Outlook. Gmail is easier to use because, most people have a Gmail account, and there are a lot of companies who use Gmail's work suite for their business. So for Gmail, what I'm going to do is I am going to send a message. Okay. All right. My credentials are set up. Here, my resource is message. The operation is send. Who am I sending it to? And I need to put their email. So I'm going to go and get Miss Tanya's email. And I'm going to drop it in here. Oh, hold on before I drop that. I want to make sure it's on expression because expression is what receives JSON. Okay. So I'm going to drop in my email. And for the subject, I'm going to put in thank you for contacting ABC Law Firm. All right. The email type, yes, is HTML. And so here a message. So I have a message and let me open it up. Let me go to my little the little cheat sheet that I have so that I can put in the message. If I could copy and paste it. All right, here we go. Okay. Hello. And I'm going to put in a the JSON placeholder for that client's first name. And that's what I was mentioning the reason why I separated the client's name, because I don't want to say like, hello, Shay Jackson. I just want to say, hello, Shay. Thank you for reaching out to, I'm going to say ABC Law Firm. Okay. We have received your inquiry and want you to know that your request is important to us. A member of our legal team will review your information and get in touch with you shortly to discuss your case and next steps. If you have any immediate questions, feel free to call us at 312, this is a fictitious number, 456-7890, or reply to this email. We look forward to assisting you, the ABC Law Firm team. Okay. So I'm going to close that. And what I'm going to do is I want to say hello first name. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go in, change it to expression, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to drag Tanya's name. Okay. So you see right here at the bottom, it says, hello, Tanya. Let me let me see, it's out of space. Oh no, yeah, that space needs to be there. And you see, it says the result, hello, Tanya. Thank you. Awesome. So that is great. One other thing that I need to do is under options, I'm going to go in and there's something called a pin N8N attribution. If you put that, it'll like have a dash and say N8N something. But we don't want that on our email. Okay. We don't want people to know that this is an automation. So you see, I chose under options, I chose a pin N8N. By default, it is on. I'm going to turn it off so that, it won't be in our email. Again, we're going to test the step. Okay. And here it says that it was sent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to my email address and see here is the email that came in. Thank you for hello, Tanya. Thank you for reaching out to ABC Law Firm. So this step works. Awesome. Now we're going to go back. We are going to go back to our workflow. And what we want to do, as I mentioned, we want to have a little reminder. Again, following up is key, and that is one of the grievances that potential clients had because people are calling. Now, if you haven't seen my VAPI tutorial, go ahead and look at that because that could help with being able to, at the first line of defense, being able to have a automated voice agent that is a legal receptionist to get that potential client's information, and that addresses calling law firms and no one answering. Okay, we're able to get that information, send it off to the law firm, you have it, and then you can also follow up. Okay. And if they're interested, they can schedule an appointment. Again, that's in my Vappy and N8N video. So what we're going to do is we are going to look for our Google Calendar. We're going to schedule, and here it is right here. We're going to schedule an event that when we receive a new client, we're going to put it on our, we're going to put it in our, on our calendar to reach out to them, and you determine like how far in advance, like do you want to give it 24 hours or 48 hours. In my example, I'm going to use 24 hours in order to reach out to them. So my credential is set up. It is event, and I'm just dropping down so that you can see the options. The operation is, yes, we want to create an event, add an event to our calendar. And I just want to quickly show you there's nothing on my calendar. Going back, yes, create. Okay, and so because my Google Calendar is set up, when I open it up, it automatically gives me my email address to choose. Now, I have a little cheat code for this one too, that it gives us. I'm going to go to expression so that I can get like a notification. And again, you choose if you want it to be 24 to 48 hours. And I'm putting within 24 hours. Okay. So I'm going to add a field, and I'm going to add description where I'm going to say follow up on inquiry by, and then I'm going to put that person's first name and last name so that let me go back because I didn't change it to expression. Okay. And I'm going to change, and I'm going to put their first name and last name so that I will know who I am reaching out to them, who I'm reaching out to. Okay. Their first name, we're going to put their last name. We're going to put their email. And we're going to put their phone number. And all I'm doing is, because one thing that I noticed by using this, it's a great tool. However, I'm not, when I tested it, I didn't get, I wasn't able to create a title for that. And maybe I need to look in the additional fields. But what I want to do is just know who I'm contacting. So if I have a reminder, and I'm like, well, who is this? See, I don't see title. Okay. And it's okay. That's all I'm going to put. And I'm going to test it to see if it shows up in my calendar, and it'll just be a trigger as a reminder, depending on who handles like your client acquisition, like who handles those leads. That would be that person's, you would connect that person's calendar because they're going to be the ones, and they'll know who they need to reach out to. Okay. I'm going to test the step to see if it works. And it did. So I'm going to go to my calendar, and you see right here, because I said 24 to 48 hours, you see it says no title. I don't see how I can know how I can add a title to this to create an event, because all I'm doing is doing like a reminder. And you see it's for this client, because you see the follow-up is with Tanya Davis, the email, and also the phone number. So this works as well. And let me just go in one, because I looked and there was no way for me to enter I couldn't enter a title. So that's why I put it in the description so that I'll be reminded and I'll know again. Follow up on inquiry by Tanya Davis. Oh, I need to, she must have filled out a form and I need to look at it. Okay. And that is it for this automation, for this part of our CRM automation. What we did was set up a workflow automation that when someone completes a form with interest in being a client of our law firm, we capture their information in Google Sheets, which then was entered into Airtable. After that, we created a Gmail account so that so that we could send an email to the potential client to let them know we got your information. Again, follow up is key. And also we scheduled a Google Calendar reminder so that within 24 hours we know that we should follow up with them, and just we have the information about their about why they're contacting us because it's right here. Okay. So that is it for part 2 of our CRM automation. I am Shay Jackson. Have a great day.